Welcome everyone, thank you for tuning in. This is the MSV podcast. Here we talk about crypto. My name is Sabi, I am your host today. Let's start.
Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in. Today we are going to find out what is next for MultiversX. I think the best is to find out from the CEO and co-founder of MultiversX. Please welcome Beniamin Mincu. Beniamin, I was looking forward for a long time to speak to you. How are you doing? I think you are in Hong Kong.
No, it's really great to be here, but I'm currently on the road, not in Hong Kong with the team, but part of the team is indeed in Hong Kong, currently in some other part of Europe traveling.
That's nice. Okay, now looking at our audience, I don't think that we need too much of introductions, but maybe for new community members or for people who are not part of MultiversX, if you could give us a brief introduction about yourself, that would be great.
So I think I'm a builder, a thinker, a philosopher sometime. But I really believe that at the end of the day, technology has a really strong and fundamental power to improve society, improve our lives. And if I were to think about the strongest force through which we can bring a lot of good and benefits and improvement around that, there's nothing like a startup. And if I come even closer, this is how we started Elrond. At first, I together with my brother and a larger team, a larger group of team members, we essentially gathered a team with which we can literally build rockets and started working on this technology that we believe has a great, not only chance, but potential, and is doing it in practice, improving the world and through different layers, products, and so forth. We're trying to do this all day long.
That's great. Thank you very much for your brief answer. I just wanted to tell to our audience that at the end of this session, we will have a Q&A where we will pick 3 questions. So prepare your questions and you will be able to request to speak, and we will give you speakers request to ask your question. Beniamin, if you would need to describe MultiversX in a few sentences, like briefly, to someone who is not familiar with this, with the startup, with the project, with the vision, how would you describe it?
I would say that at this point, MultiversX can be seen almost like a new type of supercomputer that is indeed based on a blockchain network, but that enables a few very specific type of applications that leverage practically a few things like transparency, strong cryptographic primitives, and deterministic programmable contracts that are built on this network. And so you can build many things, but through this new type of supercomputer, we believe that you can reimagine the financial system, you can reimagine economic interactions, you can reimagine money, and many other applications that have to do with exchange, transparency, and creating new type of social and economic interactions in society.
Thank you. I think that is a very nice description of what you guys are doing. Now let's go and check. I think the last big accomplishment, last big milestones. You released the xPortal, and I was wondering how is the atmosphere at the HQ after this huge delivery? How the team is feeling? How everyone is doing?
So I will probably just add to the point that I was mentioning before that. Indeed, on this new type of supercomputer, the technology is fully open source, and part of the products we're building on top, just as shipping new applications on this type of new supercomputer. And then a great amount of products, applications, and so forth are being built by the community. So there's a very interesting interplay here. Now, specifically to xPortal, this has been a monster effort and continues to be a monster effort that is shaping up really nicely. As I was mentioning maybe some time ago, the immediate focus of the app has been stabilizing and bringing things up to speed in terms of quality, calibrating things, getting feedback and ideas from the community. And we're now close to having a kind of first version that works really well, at least on Android. Things have moved really fast. Now on iOS, Apple brings a lot of challenges, but we're now in conversations with them almost every day to make sure that the latest version that we have that brings a lot of fixes and improvements and new type of smaller feature improvements is out. But on a bigger scale, this is just a preparation before we really start the growth engines. So with this app, we can not only have great conversations about potential applications for blockchain, but we really have an application that takes the supercomputer we built and then shows the best kind of applications that you could immediately access, immediately use, and the fact that there's an app store within the app makes the entire community interaction and community shipping process even more exciting and interesting.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm also using xPortal, and I think the biggest bug I saw on it is that people couldn't find each other. I mean, I got some messages that some people couldn't find me in the messaging center. Other than that, to be honest, even on iOS, I think I have to say my congrats to you and to the team, because it's a great app, and I think it was a big success looking at the community's feedback and reviews of the application.
Thank you. I think a lot of love and effort has definitely been put into it. We know a bit about different, let's say, smaller bugs on the messaging part. That's very much in a beta version where we are experimenting quickly with it. But in the current version that is normally in review at Apple, we'll probably have this bug already solved. Hopefully it won't take ages until they decide to accept the submission and enable us to publish it. But yeah, here we'll love to ship really fast, iterate quickly, and then move forward with some exciting community challenges that we're probably soon going to be introducing to start the growth engines.
Well, that sounds interesting. What would be the most interesting, maybe for the team, what the team really wants or looks forward to unveil about the xPortal app? I think you mentioned that it's a lot of things are on the way to be released.
Mm-hmm. We've basically seen this as probably the best chance we have to reach really large scale with the idea of the blockchain and its application. And so the entire point is, how do we ship a really great experience? Then some specific features like transferring money, playing with NFTs, having this kind of financial layer with the card that is coming and is super exciting. Then having the element where you have generative avatars and all of that, and do all of this while being able to interact socially and forget about the blockchain technology part and just focus on using it. And we believe that on top of this, if we structure things really nicely, we can really start a set of community challenges, interactions where growth is not this abstract thing, but it's very clearly and closely correlated with everything that we've built on the network layer. Like every new user would not only discover the really great experience, but will be able to become a native user of the financial layer, and then would in part grow the entire ecosystem, not only on the finance part, but then also in the applications that they can discover in the App Store.
Oh, yes, that's. I think that is the future. That is what I can see around that. We need to leave behind the complications, right? We need a layer which is simple to use and can onboard more and more people. Before we go forward, just one more question regarding xPortal. I know that builders can be very much self-critic, let's say. And has the xPortal met your expectations? I mean, what you can control, obviously, you cannot control the Apple releases. But if you look back, you are happy with the release, everything went as planned, or you would, I don't know, amend smaller things or bigger?
I mean, in our case, we would always amend new things and update new things, because we're setting the most ambitious goals possible whenever we try to deliver something, even though we know that in some cases we will need to readjust things, we will need to update them. We do believe that it's much more productive to set this very ambitious goals that tend to stretch you, tend to force you to reinvent yourself and move forward with the team and find new ways of approaching delivery, of shipping the product. But by and large, this has been a really great effort that has brought an important checkpoint and bridge for the entire community that we're now preparing to use as the, let's say, most astute weapon or most astute tool that we have to onboard users at a speed that will probably be not possible without this type of user experience, without this type of interactions that we have built in the app. So there are many things to do. We have a very long way to go with cool things that we have in the pipeline, but this is a great starting point, and the entire team has definitely put a great effort. But then the community has also responded and has played and has come with great amount of feedback that we've integrated and will continue to integrate. So super curious and always happy to hear this type of feedback that brings either new features to mind or constructive ideas that we should think about and process.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Now I will want to go forward because I think we touched a bit on the near past, but let's look into what's next. And I would like to continue the conversation about AI a bit. Let's touch on the artificial intelligence. We went from hype to criticism. I think AI went through almost all the levels which we usually see in 1 or 2 years in traditional tech or traditional industries. Do you think AI is essential for blockchain, or it would be just ignorant to leave it out of the question? Do you think blockchain needs AI?
My view on this is probably that I usually look at these technologies not through the lens of hype, but asking a very simple and fundamental question. What are the implications of this idea playing out? And then what are the effects that we're already seeing? And then how do they relate to blockchains, to what we're building, and so forth? the answer to the first two parts is that I believe that because people have heard AI so many times before in the previous years, they mistakenly judge things happening right now as just another simple version of something that is overemphasized or overhyped and so forth, and do not necessarily look at the implications. I would almost say that what is happening right now, to put it in perspective in terms of impact and scale, it's probably an event similar to what has been happening with COVID or with the war that has started with Ukraine in terms of impact, not in terms of the positive or negative side, the negative side that has caused COVID, the COVID pandemic and so forth. But the scale of the impact is something absolutely remarkable. So I would encourage anyone listening just to take a very, very close look what's happening right now. And moving beyond this, I think we're going to see a process through which things accelerate so fast in terms of what AI can do right now, not in 5 years, not in 3 years, but during the next 6 to 12 months, that it will continuously be borderline shocking for most of the people. And I basically read, let's say, the latest paper, the latest research, almost on daily basis on everything that's happening. And so the speed and scale is absolutely fascinating. Now, how does this relate to blockchain? I think we're going to see an extraordinary emphasis on blockchain tooling and blockchain applications, precisely because of AI being this, to the extreme. AI will likely become an almost all-powerful tool that you can use to create things, to edit things. But then there's also some problems with this creation or editing tool. If you can create or edit almost everything, it would mean that you can edit history, that you can edit the integrity or you can edit almost any document. And so the question will become, what will you still consider history? What will be authentic history? What will be the document that you want to look at? Will it be just a deep fake document? Will it be a deep fake media? And so I think in the immediate future, we're going to face a crisis where through mere senses, we won't be able to tell what's true, what's real, or what's authentic. And this will force us to reconsider almost everything we know, to use new tools. And it's precisely here that blockchain shines the most, where it can anchor reality, provide an anchor for sort of historic authenticity, for digital integrity, and then also some deep fake countermeasures. How can this be done? This is an entire conversation for an entire night, and we definitely have some ideas and are playing with some things on this direction. But I would say that the most fascinating and interesting conversation during the next years will be the interplay between AI, its possibilities and dangers, and blockchain that will bring a kind of counterbalance to everything that we can do with AI.
Interesting. For that discussion, I'm going to send you the invite right now. Okay, full night. I mean, unlimited time. Okay, so from what you said, I understood that you think that maybe AI needs blockchain in order to authenticate it or the information, because I can see in AI or people's reaction to AI something similar to what I saw to the metaverse. Because last year when we had, let's call it the metaverse boom, everyone was somehow picturing a dystopian future. We are going to live only in front of our computers and everything will be, like the Ready Player One. I think that is the movie which was mentioned the most times. Now AI, when I don't know, ChatGPT was released, when people learned about AI, they said that okay, AI is going to take everyone's job. Okay, no one will be able to do any work because AI will do it better. Obviously, these are a bit an overreactions. However, do you think that AI will help us to be more productive outside of the authenticity which you just mentioned? And will we learn maybe on mid-level jobs as well to use AI and to make everything faster, better, more efficient?
Yeah, so I think the question always depends on time frame. So on a long enough time frame, I would say AI will definitely be able to become the ultimate tool that replaces us in doing, let's say, just mere jobs. And if we use it correctly, it has the power to enhance us, help us become significantly more productive, significantly more fulfilled, significantly doing more work that's really meaningful for us and not drudgery work that sometimes people do and so forth. So it is a tool, and it all depends to us. It all depends on us whether we use this tool as we use any other tool. Just being mindful that this tool could also have some extreme consequences if not managed correctly. But I think, yeah, I
That is also an all-nighter, right? Discussion.
yeah.
What would be the consequences and how it should be managed?
Yeah, the next decade. So whatever we would conclude on the speed at which we might achieve AGI, which is an entire conversation in itself, excluding that for 1 second, there is so much potential in even what we can do right now, whether it's text, whether it's speech, whether it's image, whether it's video, whether it's music, whether it's almost anything creative that you can think about. This is all doable today, not in 5 years. Now, in 1 month, in 2 months, in 3 months, I do expect most people to be able to essentially write code, create video, create images, create creative stuff, whether it's books, ideas, by mere language, which has not been the case up until this point. With that type of potential unlocked, I'm convinced the world will probably change in some ways that we would not anticipate. But I'm quite, let's say, overall confident that not only will we face challenges, but we will tend to find solutions to the challenges, and blockchain is a necessary solution to some of the challenges that we'll see with AI.
And I think that is the most important. I could talk about this topic all night, but I know that your time is also limited. So I would like to move forward. And I think we mentioned just 3 topics for the next 3 spaces. But right now I want to go a bit in a maybe less interesting topics. However, it is very important. It is about regulations. I was thinking that as a crypto startup, can you stay ahead of the curve? Can you be informed enough in order to be compliant in this fast-paced environment? Because I think usually when we say regulations and law, it's like a low pace, but in crypto nowadays we can see that everything is changing and we hear something new. So how you can stay ahead of the curve when you are a crypto company?
This probably goes to some very common sense principles, in the sense that what you usually do is make sure that you're aware of the latest regulation, make sure that you have some built-in principles that help you stay anchored on the compliance side, but then also make sure that you try to see a bit ahead, try to anticipate some of the things, because there are some shifting sands with respect to regulation, and making sure that you're compliant, but then you're not dying at the same time, because it might be very easy to be compliant, but then usually you might conclude that you should not do anything, because it's so. If you would just ask, let's say, if you would just ask some random lawyers, they could tell you all the reasons why you will die, and so forth. But then the constructive way of viewing this is looking what the risks are, what the reasonable path is around those risks, and then also having conversations with regulators, having conversations with banks, having conversations with the different strategic parties to get informed, but then also to help guide some of the conversations or some of the directions of the decisions in productive ways.
Okay, so common sense, I think that is the most important, which you need to keep in mind. Let's go forward and discuss about onboarding new people. I think with the cycles, new projects appearing, and I am convinced that when we will have even a more powerful bull run, because maybe we are at the brink of a new start right now, even more projects will appear. How can you keep the adoption? How can you keep to stay alive, as you said, in the cryptoverse, as a project, as a startup, as a product, right, and as a service?
I think that understanding how the landscape or environment has changed is one part of the conversation, and then the other one is how you want to navigate this change. So, given that we're essentially in a new type of situation where technology is open source, where you more or less are only bound by the limits of your, let's say, knowledge, understanding, and imagination, all things being equal, it sort of becomes a game where it's almost an arms race of growth. So you have the previous metaphors that you would use for businesses cannot apply anymore, because they're completely useless, in the sense that when you think about a moat, you think about a castle, a medieval time, a slow pace of change, and then the way that you protect the castle was by building this moat around it, filling it with water, and then hoping that someone would not attack you through the air or through some other means. Now, it's obvious that in the current times, a lot has changed. We have new tools. We have so many tools, in fact, that most of them are open source. And now with AI, we're just going to see a much more rapid pace of experimentation, innovations, new ideas being tried out. So I believe that the state in which we're in dictates that almost the only mode is constant change, constant adaptation, and constant new experiments and trials that ship products to the users, that try to fulfill their needs and bring new benefits in major ways. Because whenever you've stopped, it's like you've lost already. It's just that it takes some time for you to see it. So being able to adapt really fast, being able to try new ideas, being able to offer new type of services on top of what you've built, given the open source technology, that's I believe the edge that will keep you staying relevant. And if you just want to rest, or let's say rest on the creations that you've had in the past, that will never be enough in the current environment. And so it opens up this very dynamic and exciting space to be in, and to be able to create and leverage the builders, the community, and putting them all to build in this new space with the supercomputer that is MultiversX, and seeing what comes out. That's the large experiment that we're running, and I'm constantly curious to see what new things we discover and can implement.
Well, thank you very much for your answer. I think if I would like to summarize, I would say that the recipe will stay the same. Build the community, keep the community, and just increase it so people would use your product, services, and always adapt to change. Very nice. I'm gonna ask you my last question, and before I do that, I just want to address the audience that after Beniamin's answer, we will open the Q&A. So we have time for 3 questions. If you have a question, just request to be a speaker. I can see that Steven already requested to be a speaker, or if you want, you can also type your question in the comments. Beniamin, what is the next milestone for MultiversX? What is that you are looking forward to the most, and you think that it's the most important in the upcoming 6 months, 1 year?
This is a very, very hard question, in the sense that there's so much.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, there's so much packed that is coming on so many verticals that I was alluding to in the last town hall, whether it's upgrades on the MultiversX network, whether it's different products that just take the network and bring into the users in new ways, whether it's really exciting projects that we see through the startup space within the ecosystem, through the DeFi space, through the NFT space, gaming space, or whether it's the global outreach tour that is just unfolding in several countries, where we're meeting with builders, with partners, with communities from around the world. Then the hackathon, and then also X Day. I mean, yeah, I think I've alluded.
We are waiting for X Day's announcement, by the way.
Yeah. All of it is coming, but yeah, there's so many things that we're quite excited about, and I think will just serve to amplify and strengthen the entire ecosystem and tool set that we're offering at this point.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward very much to these upgrades, updates, and whatever is coming that you are guys planning. So I think we can move to Q&A, and I'm gonna pick 3, I think, in a row. So Steven is first. I saw that he requested it, like, I think from the beginning. So Steven, I'm gonna give you speaker rights, and let me know if you can hear me, and let's see if you are coming through loud and clear. It says connecting. Hey Steven, you're on mute.
Good morning, everybody. How's it going?
Yeah, good. Thank you. You have a question for Beniamin?
Yeah, of course. So Beniamin, thank you once again for doing these Twitter Spaces. I hope everybody in the audience is enjoying, and thank you, Zabi, for hosting. So just kind of following the thread of the adjustments in the dates that we've seen as you announced in the town hall and have kind of rolled out. I guess two kind of questions. The first one is, given that X Worlds from start to finish has been delayed more or less maybe a year or so, curious to hear what incremental changes could be expected given the extra time that's going to be put into that before the first public release. And kind of the second tier question is kind of personal for Beniamin. I guess I'm just curious, what form of kind of content do you feel is actually the most educative, given that some people like to read, other people like to listen. And I personally enjoy that the team kind of push out all of these dates because truly for content creators such as myself and others, there is a lot to communicate to the world. So any sort of, advice from the CEO with how to really go about organizing that and plating it in such a way that is digestible and shareable for other people would be really great to hear. Thank you.
Awesome. Awesome to hear your questions. Let me take each one of them. So the key point with X Worlds is that there are many things that are being tried at this point. Some things that we're working on specifically, but the better we think about the interaction and integration of such a tool and such a framework with the current tools, the easier it will be to onboard people, offer them much better experiences, and enable them to participate in this new space in a way that's extraordinarily compelling. Because the challenge has never been like shipping something that is, let's say, of mediocre quality. The challenge has been how do we deliver something that's worth it, that really makes the interaction experience and utility be obvious from the start. And so the sooner we have some updates that we can communicate on this front, the faster we'll update you and the entire community. And then the second question, I was mentioning during the town hall that I was trying to prepare a kind of document that just puts this in a written form, although it's still tentative, although it might still update and change as the world changes. We're very close to sharing something like that because we've seen content creators and community really taking the initiative and getting a very significant level up in terms of quality, in terms of depth, in terms of thoughtfulness of the entire dialogue. So I'm really impressed, and I think there's also something in the pipeline where the team will probably present an idea that will try to share some directions and then open some challenges to the community just to find the best ways, whether it's audio, whether it's video, whether it's Twitter threads, in sharing this maybe new features or new ideas that are being discussed. But I must already congratulate the community because I've seen podcasts, I've seen Twitter spaces, I've seen Twitter threads, and it's great to see the depth and the quality of the discourse. So keep up the great work, and with the new updates that we're preparing, taking them, distilling them, and creating both video, audio, and written threads on them is just a great way to make sure that the community understands them.
Thank you, Beniamin, for answering Steven's question. And thanks, Steven, for creating so many threads and educative contents. Okay, next one, DB Crypto. And after DB Crypto will be Jack Meller. So Jack, prepare your question, and I'm gonna add DB Crypto as a speaker.
Hey, thanks for having me up, Sabi. Thanks for hosting, and thanks for spending some time with the community today, Benny. This is great. So I've got two questions if we have time for them. First, around one that comes up frequently, and one you may be tired of hearing too, is marketing and future plans. And the global tour is awesome. I love what is going on with all the events with Paris, and, Hong Kong, and we got Consensus coming up in just a couple weeks, I think. And I know for me, I'm wondering if this is going to be a continual thing. Is there a calendar of events that are going to continue throughout the year, as well as the hackathon? I think that's massive. I would love to see hackathons happen on a quarterly basis almost to help bring in developers and grow the exposure of the community, because I will say that being in spaces almost every day, talking to people all around the crypto space, it still blows my mind how unknown MultiversX is. And not just that people don't know what it is, but when I say MultiversX or even formerly Elrond, people have no idea. They're like, what is that? Is that a blockchain? Is it a DApp? Is it an exchange? So it's around marketing for sure. I'd love to hear more what your thoughts are for marketing the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm. This is a great question. This speaks a lot about the conversation that we've been having internally, in the sense that even with the conferences, the global outreach tour, and all of that, the experience has sort of been that almost everyone knew about Elrond and all of that, but then no one knew yet about the MultiversX. And so this just shows how large the opportunity is, but also shows how focused and systematic our approach needs to be, such that we can put these flags, we can make sure that there's not only partnership discussions and builders discussions which are crucial, and which we're just focusing on these two threads in parallel. So as soon as the next update comes, you'll see a detailed overview on the entire year and how this ties the global outreach tours together, what countries are following, how we are engaging with them, but then also how the hackathon overlaps and then focuses the builder efforts almost separately from all the interactions that we have. And then at the same time, the business interactions are something to be tackled and to be focused in parallel. But with each new outreach checkpoint, the entire awareness grows significantly. And so from that point, we literally direct users, direct businesses, direct builders into this new type of pipelines. But with the xPortal app and with this new set of releases that we were discussing about, the efforts are going even beyond that. So there will be several types of initiatives that will happen in parallel in order to make sure that awareness grows significantly, and then this awareness is converted in the different pipelines, whether it's builders, whether it's businesses, whether it's users that discover the product and then can take them with them and share them with friends, family, and start using them, so that this is not just a one-time conversation, but then a recurring or recursive growth engine that we can leverage to an even deeper extent with each new step we're taking.
Excellent. Yeah, that's great to hear that it's just step one and there's so much more coming. And second question, if I do have time, is that okay, Sabi?
I'm sorry, but we have one more question and we don't have more time. I'm so sorry,
no worries.
but we will have another space. Hopefully, Benny now can confirm it, and then you will ask the question. Sorry, and thank you for creating so many threads on MultiversX, obviously. Okay, last question. Jack Miller, let us know if you can hear us. I mean, I suppose you can hear us, so it's connecting. And yeah, just unmute your microphone and let us know your question. Thank you.
Okay, hello everybody, and hello Beniamin, Zappi, and the listeners. Thank you for these Twitter Spaces. They are essential for the whole ecosystem. And I will have also two questions. They're going to be rather short to answer, so no worries here. The first, they're going to be personal as well, but not too personal, of course. So the first question is, I would like to ask Beniamin, what is your goal in life? Like, what is the ultimate goal that you have? And the second question would be, who's your hero? The reason why I'm asking this is because so many people from the ecosystem consider Beniamin or consider you to be the hero. And for this reason, I'm asking the same, like, who is your hero? So these are the questions that I have.
I think this would be another all-nighter, right, Benjamin? But please carry on.
Yeah, so I will just mention one thing. We've just started a new new set of initiatives with calls that are designed for developers, for validators, for community. We'll have several spaces for DeFi, for NFTs, and so forth. So I think as soon as we have the next update, we'll probably do another Twitter Spaces with Steven, and we'll continue to have these conversations because they are great. Now coming back to the questions, the entire idea of compressing the goal, let's say, for a life is always interesting and tricky and hard, because you can feel the boundaries of where you are right now, what you see right now, what you will discover and will want to integrate, and all of that. But the simplest way I would put it is probably just finding a really impactful way of maximizing the positive benefits to the world or on the world. So if this means just building a really useful and powerful technology that maximizes the good in the world and enables people to live better lives, to build new things, to have better opportunities, then that's the idea. This is why I really care about technologies that can have a really significant positive impact on society, and why we're focusing on building MultiversX with all the challenges, all the opportunities on all the facets that we've seen and that we see, with all the great number of community projects that are being built on top and will continue to probably deliver and bloom within this ecosystem. As for the heroes, I think at different points in time, I've found very interesting people to learn from, and I'm always curious and eager to find this type of people. Maybe three people that have remained super interesting subjects to always learn something from, have been, at least throughout the last 10 years, Paul Graham, Peter Thiel, and Elon. So it seems each of them is in a different type of category, doing something very distinct and unique, but also very useful and with high impact on the world. Of course, you could argue that Elon is in a league of his own, and that's an understandable argument. But there are many people from which I learn, and I read books day and night just to discover these people and find new things to learn and new ways of looking at the world. So I'm sure everyone has a lot of interesting people like that, but these three people are definitely some people that have remained, not only popped up in my readings, thoughts, conversations, but then have interestingly remained there and have grown in terms of impact over time.
Thank you very much. I think it's very interesting. I don't know, Jack, if you wanted to say something.
No, I just wanted to thank him for the answer. It was like I feel like there was an ice on my chest, and I feel like very comfortable after hearing this answer. So thank you.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm sure Beniamin is as well. Okay, everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. Beniamin, thank you very much for accepting the invitation and taking the time. I think it was a fun conversation. I could do this all evening. Therefore, but we need to close it. So thank you again, and good luck with your tour.
Sabi, it was a pleasure. Thanks a lot for having me, and it's always great to have these types of thoughtful and fun and interesting conversations. Thanks a lot.
Yes, and looking forward to the next one. Everyone, don't forget to follow us everywhere. Beniamin, MultiversX, Morningstar Ventures, me, and we have Twitter Spaces every week. Next week is Roundtable, and in 2 weeks, we have another podcast Spaces. So feel free to join then as well. Thank you again from everyone. And see you in the next one.